So new agent launch hit your feed on Tuesday. By Thursday, there was another. By next Monday, there were 3 more. Plus, this changes everything thread you almost retweeted before you caught yourself, right? Now, I used to read all of them. I'd open the announcements, I'd skim through the demo video, bookmark the docs, tell myself I'd come back to it. Most of those bookmarks died in the tab graveyard. The ones I did follow up on usually didn't deserve the afternoon I gave them, right? So I stopped reading release notes, started filtering. There's like 5 questions, 2 minutes per launch. That's what I want to talk to you and walk you through today. Here's why I have to introduce a hadith. Because the principle is older than the agent ecosystem by 1400 years. The Prophet ﷺ said, "It is enough lying for a man to relate everything he hears." Sahih Muslim in the introduction. Also Abu Dawud, Hadith 4992. Now there's an Arabic phrase, I don't want to say it here, but it basically says enough that a person be considered a liar that he speaks of everything he hears. The hadith isn't about deceit. It's about a softer failure, repeating every claim you encounter as if you verified it. The bar for repeating something is verification, not novelty. Most agent launches fail that bar, not because vendors are dishonest, most aren't, but because this is impressive. It's not the same thing as this matters more for the work you actually do. The filter is the verification step, right? Here are the 5 questions. Question number 1. Connectivity. Does this plug into the tool my team already use, or does it expect me to migrate work into a new environment? Most launches expect migration. Most teams don't have the appetite. Low unless it speaks to my stack natively. Number 2. Openness. Can other agents build on top of this, or is it a closed product? An API that other coding tools, MCP clients, and custom automations can point at scores really high for me, and other standalone apps that I've used through the vendor's Chrome scores low, right? 3. Data access. Does this have native access to data my team cares about, or is it a great model looking at nothing? A frontier model with no path to my company's documents is low. A mediocre model with deep permission-aware access to where the work lives is high. Number 4, ecosystem. Is something forming around this, like marketplace, SDKs, partner programs, consistent ship cadence, a developer community that's actually shipping? A press release with no ecosystem is low. A growing platform with funding behind it and people building on top is high. 5. Stackability. Does this compose with what I already run, or does it want to be the center? Tools that multiply the rest of the stack scores high. Tools that ask to replace it score low. Most launches score low on most axes. That's the point. The filter is supposed to be skeptical. If everything passes, the filter is broken. Okay, let me show you a worked example, because abstract scoring is useless until you watch someone else apply it. Take Kimi K2.6, open weights frontier model from Moonshot. There are 2 ways to consume it, right? Either you host it, hosted version, you give Moonshot your prompts, or a self-hosted version, you give nobody anything, and then you run it through the filter twice. The hosted Kimi K2.6, connectivity is moderate. It has APIs, but it's another endpoint, another billing relationship, another set of policies. Openness is high. Open weights means other agents can swap it in. Data access is pretty low. Your data has to leave your environment for it to see anything. Ecosystem is moderate, stackability is high, you can route to it from any harness that speaks to API. And the verdict, a partial pass for teams without data residency concerns. Fail for anyone who can't ship private data to a Chinese market first vendor. Now, self-hosted Kimi K2.6 connectivity is high. It runs on your own hardware, speaks OpenAI compatible APIs, plugs into everything. Openness is high, same weights, data access high, the data never leaves. Ecosystem is also high if you count the broader open weights ecosystem. Stackability is also high. Verdict? Pass for teams with the engineering depth to run it. Now, the same model, 2 completely different filter results. That's what the filter is for. It forces the question of how you're consuming the thing, not just whether you're consuming it. So now let me talk about how this connects to what I'm building. I built the mm-cli tool partly because I got tired of treating model launches as the unit of decision. The actual unit is the skill, a documented capability with eval coverage, and whether a new model improves that skill on your work, not on the vendor's benchmark. That's what the eval engine in mm-cli does. Every skill is run with and without the skill loaded on the same model, on your prompts, A/B testing, reproducible. The output is a verdict, not a vibe. When a new model drops, Kimi, DeepSeek, Quen, whatever, ships next month, you swap the model flag and just rerun. If the new model improves the skill on your work, the filter passed something real. If it doesn't, the launch was a vendor announcement, not a tool upgrade for you. You find out in 20 minutes instead of an afternoon though, right? That's the same discipline the launch filter encodes. Verify before relating, evaluate before adopting. The hadith and the eval are the same principle at different scales. Now I want to address something that matters specifically if you're building inside a Muslim community infrastructure. There's a second layer here. A lot of the agent ecosystem is forming inside vendor walls, closed weight models, closed product surfaces, closed marketplaces. The default path is to plug your work into someone else's substrate and hope they keep their pricing, their policies, and their ethics aligns with yours. Now, for builders working on community infrastructure, so donation platforms, waqf tools, da'wah products, halal commerce, that default is risky. The platforms that own your substrate today can deplatform you tomorrow. They can quietly inject content policies that conflict with your community's values. They can change pricing in ways that break your unit economics. The dependency is the vulnerability. The filter pushes you toward the things that don't lock you in. So for example, open ways you can self-host, APIs other agents can build on, data layers you can control, ecosystems where the substrate is shared rather than owned. That's not anti-vendor, it's pro-sovereignty. It's the same logic that the Prophet ﷺ taught when he said the upper hand is better than the lower hand. Being in a position to give is better than being in a position dependent on what someone else hands to you. Now, you can build on Anthropic's API and on Kimi's open weights at the same time. You should. The filter just helps you keep the proportions honest, right? So I want to leave you with the practical drill for this week. Step 1, write down your stack in one line. Not the aspirational version, the actual tools your team logs into every day. This is the input to every future filter run. Step 2, pick the launch you're most curious about right now, right? The one you bookmarked, the one a colleague sent. Open the announcement. Step 3, score it against the 5 questions: connectivity, openness, data access, ecosystem, stackability, high, moderate, low. Don't grade it on a curve. Most launches deserve low on most axes. Step 4, write a 1-paragraph verdict. Should you spend an afternoon on this? Yes, no, yes, but only if there's a specific condition. If it's yes, the next paragraph is 3 concrete actions for this week, not learn more, specifics. Step 5, if the launch involves a new model, run it through the eval tool against a real skill. Vendor benchmarks just tell you what the model is good at. Your own eval tells you what it's good at for you. The gap between those two numbers is the entire reason this filter exists. The discipline isn't about ignoring releases. It's about not relating everything you hear as if you'd verified it. The filter is the verification step, the thing between I saw this and I'm changing my workflow because of this. So, what's the last launch you actually deserve to spend an afternoon on? The link to the Substack is in the description. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.